He's doing it in his own time. I won't get weary and well doing. For in due season, he's gonna do it for me. I'm not weary, but I'm gonna run and not get weary. I'm gonna walk and not faint. I know he's doing it for me. My healing, my deliverance, my breakthrough, my overcoming, my turnaround, everything he promised, he's gonna perform it. Come on, he that begun a good work, yes, he's gonna perform it until the day of his coming. Yes, he's not gonna leave me lonely. No, he's not gonna turn his back on me. No, but every word that proceeds out of his mouth, every word gonna perform it. Yes, he will. Every promise that he made me, everything that he said. Come on, everybody say, oh, God is doing it. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Oh, Jesus. Hallelujah. Thank you for doing it, God. Thank you, Jesus. Lisa Page Brooks, everybody. God, yeah. It is wonderful. Oh, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. By the grace of God. Yeah. I'm talking about grace tonight, y'all. How many know about grace? I'm talking about grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Saved a wretch like me, like me. Oh, bye, 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 bye. Yeah. Somebody say, I didn't do it. Couldn't do it myself. I need it. Somebody say, oh, bye, 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 bye. I'm talking about praise. Oh, Lord, oh, hey. I need it. Somebody say, oh, it's all, and it's there. The grace of God. Hey, I could not do it. I couldn't do it all. I needed grace. Somebody there. Oh, Jesus. It was the grace of God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, hey, 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 hey. Oh, Lord. Hey, yeah. And it's all grace of God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. Oh, Lord. I was just blind, but now I see. And it's all my God.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Well, good afternoon. It's Wednesday, it's 3 p.m., and we're here, and we're just so glad to have you there. This is this week's edition or rendition of Ask Elaine, and we've got two very, very handsome gentlemen
Tell that
in
lie.
the studio.
You don't lie. You got one.
Oh, he's trying to say the other one.
That's cold, David.
We can get the phones turned off and everything. We want to welcome you to this week and to Ask Elaine. This is your voice, Water Commissioner Elaine Lucas, former council member and commissioner. Your voice, welcoming you to the program. Kimberly Houston has already joined us. She's the one that next time I see her, I'm going to give her a little gift card because she was the very first one to come on and join in the chat. And each week we're going to look to see who the first person is who joins in with us and goes to the chat and identifies themselves, because we like to know who's joining us, who's sharing the wonderful information that we have to share. And we have some of the best people on this particular program. You get smarter, I guarantee you. We've got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to share, some of a personal nature, but I want all of you to walk a walk with me. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how rude the chair of the water board was in a meeting and how uninformed. So to the point that he did not know that he can't, no, he doesn't have to know what a point of personal privilege is all about. That is a privilege that the presiding officer just grants because an elected member asked for the floor to do that. And all of you who have led meetings and all of that, you know. So we're going to talk about all that. We want to, first of all, express, I'm going to introduce the two guests first, two handsome gentlemen. And then we're going to, that's our great engineer, the goat man, the man with the goat hair.
Greatest of all times.
That wasn't quite what it was this morning on drive time. He had hair all out of his shirt and stuff, and so it was goat hair, and oh my goodness, it was funny. Y'all need to be listening in on drive time early in the morning. David and I wake up and I reach over and grab my cell phone and turn off the alarm on it, and then we listen to drive time with Apostle Bertice Rozier. And we listened to Bishop Don H. Scott, and then we listened to the cast of characters. It is so funny, and it just wakes you up laughing in the morning. Plus, there's good gospel music too, which is just wonderful to wake up to in the morning. But we want to say hello to Kimberly Houston, my sister Nita. Good evening to you. And we encourage you to hit like and share so that you can remind some other folks that Ask Elaine is on the air. Our special guests today are none other than my co-host, my partner in crime sometimes, Mr. Herbert.
He was your partner in crime for a long time.
Yeah, Mr. Herbert Denard. And he's an icon in this community. He went to jail trying to push for the rights of our folks. And now we seem like we've gone to sleep. We've forgotten. Um, um, and our other guest is none other than my boyfriend of 49 years.
Boyfriend?
Yeah.
What you say?
Boyfriend. Yeah. Yeah. Senator
She
David
tricked me.
Senator David E. Lucas. Both y'all are gonna get put off this show real quickly. We are so happy to have the two of them. It's unusual for me to be able to get a lot of these folks. All the folks we have on Ask Elaine are very, very busy, tied up with other kinds of activities. And we're going to ask you to tell us some more about some of those activities that you're involved in. But it is just really, really lucky for us that we're able to get these folks to let us have an hour out of their busy schedule. Now, we're going to have some other guests in coming weeks. We're going to have Dr. Jimmy Smith, who is the head of the Macon Bibb Health Department. We're also going to have the district attorney, first Black female district attorney, who has just recreated what a district attorney's office is all about. She's innovative, motivated, just a wonderful person, and we're going to have her on the show. We're also going to have Water Board member, my colleague, Desmond Brown, in the weeks to come. And Desmond, we need to congratulate him because he has been designated as a representative of a college. And it's a special recognition, and we're going to have him on to tell about that. And maybe you'll get to see some things and some recruitment for a particular college in Atlanta. So we've got all those guests coming up. And of course, we want to have Virgil Adams back on. He was on a few weeks ago and talked about wills and trusts. And when you experience medical situations, you start thinking about those things that you have put off for a long time, the kinds of things that you need to do. So we're going to have him back on to talk about a little bit more about wills and trusts and how you need to be prepared for whatever happens. So we want to welcome those who've joined us on AM, those who've joined us on FM. Y'all please remind others that Ask Elaine is on the air. So Herbert, Senator, Herbert, I'm going to ask you, I know that you go to the Law Enforcement Center every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Tell us about that program and tell us about today's encounter.
We had a full house, and some of the guys that was in today, they got it. David, Senator Lucas has been with me several times there. You have also. And today, when we was talking to him, today we had all black folks.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes it's mixed.
Yeah.
But today we had all black folks. And I told them today, and to the audience who might not know, that this so far it's been 14 or 15, I think it's 14 people killed in Macon and Bibb County. All 14 are black.
And we're doing, and the
most of the time you get
committing
one white in, and most of the person, black folk killing black folks. It's heartbreaking that we get so mad at each other that we strike at the closest person to us, I guess.
Right.
and we kill each other. We are down. Crime is down. Killings is down rather more than last year and the year before
Yeah.
last.
Yeah.
I know the mayor said he's the person that made it all happen, but
It was a combination of
right,
things. It was Macon violence prevention programs, which were very successful. But there are many
there's
others.
many others. We
Yeah.
have got WMHZ and Channel 24 to run commercials all the time. We got them. Got 4 or 5 radio stations running commercials, telling people to
Mhm.
walk away from it. I
Just
think
walk away.
I think it had some impact, and got signs in a lot of the convenience stores, and we're meeting with people all the time, groups in churches and things. I think that had some impact. But either way, I'm not try to get all the credit or anything like this, but I want to say this: it really was touched. I really was touched when you see the number of people killed, and no one is killed but black folks by
Yeah.
black folks.
Yeah.
Somehow, when things go wrong, the first thing we want to do is strike back. And the person that we end up shooting and killing is we killing one another.
Right. Right.
And we just have to deal with that.
We have got to think. We have got to be trained to think before we act, and that is a tough skill to teach. As a counselor in elementary and teen parent center and other places, that was one of the main focuses, and that is to put in place a mechanism where if there were tempers flaring, that you'd have somebody or something to intervene and to break that energy, that evil energy. And that is what we've got to go back to. I'm not sure what kind of anger management or peer counseling or whatever is happening throughout the school system. That's something we need to ask about, because this is a trained thing to kill people who are closest to you. And in the media they portray that it's okay, your punishment is less if you do something to a black person. And over history, killing a black person has not been as troubling, as much a problem
Absolutely.
as killing somebody white.
I,
And so it's a trained kind of a thing too. So
I said something today that Senator Lucas said once while he was speaking to the people. I looked at a young boy, about 18 years old, and I told him, "You're too young to be in here."
mhm.
And that's what David told a young guy. I don't know if you remember that or not, David. He said,
You remember that?
you were too young. You had people 18 years old
Yeah.
uh, spending that time."
They,
I asked them today. I say, are you guys gay?" They said, "What the hell you mean?" Excuse my language.
uh-huh.
They said, "What the hell you mean?" I said, "Because you keep coming in here, going in the showers, and all ain't nothing but black men there, nothing but men there, and you want to be back with them." They said,
Well,
"Hell no, we ain't gay." I said, "Well,
well,
why do you keep coming down there?" I went out on the road. I said, "How many times you been here?" One guy had been there 11 times. I said, "Why do you keep coming back?"
yeah.
But today, Miss Westbrook was there with me,
Uh-huh.
and she said, she told me afterwards, I looked in their eyes, and I think that this group is getting it more. This group got it. Because when we have a mixed group, we don't talk a certain way.
Mhm.
But when it's just
Mhm.
us in there, and that's who was in the meeting today with us, and they got it.
Well, the program is very beneficial. It is effective, and I salute you and all of the volunteers, the people who come week after week after week and try and save our folks. Um, if you're not a registered voter, you can't do too much to help save anybody. So I would encourage you. Um, Herbert, this last week at our water board meeting, the folks got their had gotten so much heat from the public, people coming and speaking and challenging them to do what they need to do, until they just violated all the rules
I
and
know.
everything. They just losing their mind. However, I made my announcement as was my right to do. And I announced that I had recently been diagnosed with leukemia. And I'm announcing that here on Ask Elaine that I have recently been diagnosed with leukemia. And I'm on a treatment program, and it involves you reshaping your life, your schedule. And so there will be some things that I probably won't attend because of the size of the crowd, or because I might not be feeling as well as I need to. But what I want to do out of this whole thing, if that racist Republican was disrespectful to me and only changed course when I made my announcement, he doesn't care for me. And he's going to do all he can to keep me in my place. And guess what? That goes for all of you as well. So, my challenge is, are you just going to sit and take it? Or are you going to do like I did? And I said, forward march. I am continuing my work as much as I can in the community, but I can't do it by myself. And so that's going to be my theme, that I cannot do this by myself. No three people can do this work by themselves. And Trump is telling you, and the local and state Republicans are telling you, that they don't care about you, that they're willing to take away your rights, that they are willing to put illegal laws in place, that they are willing to stop you from being able to vote by mail. They don't want you to have a convenient place to deposit your absentee ballot. They are taking away your right to pursue a job. I don't know how much more we have to be shown that these people are serious before we get up off of our behinds and do something. So that is my challenge. And I'm going to be reminding people, if I've got leukemia, fighting leukemia, taking all those shots and all that medicine and, oh Lord, all that stuff. And if I can do that and continue my commitment, what's your excuse? Most of you don't have anything going on. You are not fighting a disease. You've got energy, but you got a lot of mouth, and we don't see the walk. I want to hear the talk, but I want to see the walk. And so that's what I wanted to start this off with, and then call on Senator to tell us what's the most disturbing, the things that you're involved in, and then what most disturbs you. And then we'll go back to you, Herbert, about what is the most disturbing thing. We want to welcome Patrick Davis. Good afternoon to you. Go ahead, David.
Well, I'm looking at Herbert. Herbert, you remember the Black Liberation Front?
Oh, yeah. Curtis Gassaway.
Yeah. We all got together because we, as blacks, were not being hired in the stores downtown. And we started a picket. And you had Reverend D.C. Ball. Never would forget it. We were
T.T. Roosevelt
T.T.
Ball.
Roosevelt Ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
and we were down there picking. And this lady came out the store and had an umbrella and gonna hit me. And Reverend Ball had an umbrella, and he took the umbrella and hooked around the neck and pulled her down. and told her that it won't happen today.
People with courage.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
when I was coming up, when the street lights came on, I had to be on. And if I wasn't, man, I could hear my daddy whistle from all over the neighborhood. If I was playing ball, I dropped it and made a beeline home. But listen, you parents have got to be parents. If you're young, you have a child, you got to be a parent. You got to take care of that child. You got to feed him. You got to clothe him. And if he's 13 or 14 years old, he needs to be in the house when it's dark and not in the street to 12, 1 o'clock. You got to be the parent. You can't be the buddy. You got to be the parent, and that is what's happening to our young folks coming up and getting into trouble.
Right.
First of all, you got to be, you got to want to be somebody, not anybody, but somebody. In order to do that, you've got to get a good education. You got to get in the books. You got to learn. You got to read. You got to add. You got to subtract, and you got to divide. Those are the very basics. And then you get a job, and then you deal with the bills you got to pay, and you got to divvy it up. So you got to be able to add and subtract, and multiply and divide. You got to do those things. But the biggest problem I have is we have folks that want to run for office. And they tell me, because one walked up to me and said, "Look here, man, you've been there a long time, when you gonna give it up?" I said, "Well, I enjoy what I'm doing." I said, "The other thing is, if I got a bag hanging on me, I'm in a wheelchair, you won't see me in Atlanta." But when you run for public office, there's a commitment you have to make. And sometimes it's hard
Mhm.
because the commitment you have to make is that you're going to represent those folks who elected you and not want to go sit down and eat dinner with other folks. I can buy my own dinner. You got to represent folks, and sometimes representing us is a problem with other folks.
Yeah.
We dealing with this Trump thing now. Epstein won't go away.
And it shouldn't
He's
go away.
did the military in Los Angeles, in Washington D.C. Now he talking about going to Chicago. Well, do y'all understand what he's saying to you? That the pigmentation of your skin is why he going after you.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't call him a racist.
Well, I call him that because that's what
I
he
call him
is.
that.
There's nothing else to call
But I
him.
understand, Dave.
Come
Yeah,
sue me,
but
Trump.
but the other thing is he's a pedophile.
Pedophile.
That's all this Epstein is about. The Trumps are in there, and all this sergeants and lieutenants went down to Florida, got Maxwell out of security thing, and they couldn't move her, but he just changed the law to move her because she won't bring up Trump's name. Say he was a nice guy. The only thing she saw about him was nice.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah,
see
I'm sure.
when you see him on television with Epstein, he like a dap daddy, popping his fingers and grinning and laughing. Let me say this to you. The embarrassment is Republicans are supporting him and trying to keep a pedophile in office. In office.
Yeah.
And
He's
then
in office.
and
Since
then he loves Putin. Kissing all up to Putin in Alaska.
communist.
And guess what? Putin telling him you can go to HEAA. He is steady bombing Iran.
Right.
And then they flew the what you call it, the new thing, the flying up in there.
Drones.
Drones. He flew them over Poland, and they shot them down. And then Poland's part of NATO, which is the USA is part of it too. We got bases in what is it, Qatar
Yeah.
or what have
Qatar.
you. Listen, right now they are looking at how many folks didn't vote in the last two general elections. Many of you didn't do it. You're not on the books to vote. You need to go down and re-register.
It was 500,000 over the state of Georgia who were being dropped, who I think have already been dropped, but it's not too late. You can still get your name back on the rolls. It's very simple. You can do it on your phone. You can go to the Board of Elections and do it. Come by EL High School Academy and we register folks as they come in there. You don't hardly get out of there without being a registered voter if you're not already. We want to welcome the local chair of the Democratic Party, Ms. Scott. who is here. And I want to salute her because she's coming to all of these meetings. The local party is sending representation to the commission meetings, the water board meetings, planning and zoning, transit authority, all of these different bodies. And we've got a few more now. We got to start paying closer attention to planning and zoning because they're making some votes there that are against our people, taking our land and all of this. So we talked about that last week, but we want to thank her and the entire membership of the local party. They are very active and they're training people to be advocates. And it's now or never, y'all. We also want to welcome, I believe I already said Patrick Davis. And then Randy Crawford has joined us, and Wade Horton has joined us. And Wade has some information that I know he wants to share with us as well. He and his cousin have been longtime attendees at the Transit Authority. And they recently got some information from the Transit Authority that there are like 80 people who are disabled, who depend on paratransit for making their trips to all of these different places. And so there's been some talk that these people are being disqualified from those services.
And what we need to do is show up at the transit authority and make them qualified. Listen, this community is 63% minority.
Black.
And we don't have to cuss and fuss. All you got to do is pull or use that little pen that they give you when you go in to vote and mark the ballot. And by doing that, you will tell them, okay, but we'll show you. There's something wrong with us now. You know, Dr. King said that we might get to the mountaintop, but he might not be there when we get there. But we getting ready to fall off the mountain.
Oh, we're on the cliff.
We getting ready to fall off the mountain. Everything that Donald Trump has been done based on race. Look at what happened with the folks with the plant, the Koreans. I believe the plant is in Savannah. And ICE went down there and locked up 400 of them. And they down there and paid their money to build a plant and bring their folks over here to show the folks how to run the plant. And they go lock them up.
And that's happening all over.
And
it's happening to people who have committed no crime, who are hardworking people, who work harder than a whole lot of other people that are native born, and they are subjected. It's just like Jim Crow and all of those times when we were running and hiding because we were running away from slavery. And when people, I heard a white female say a few weeks ago, Lord, I've got to have my ID card with me. Now, you know, if white folks are saying they got to have their ID with them for fear they might look Hispanic or whatever. And the Supreme Court just said that the law enforcement could racially profile somebody.
Can actually stop you without cause. Because you look
based
different.
on how you look, or whether you're speaking Spanish, or whether you're hanging out in Home Depot. Now, I know a lot of you love Lowe's and a lot of you love Home Depot, but wouldn't it be a real downer for you to go to one of these places? And you know, there are a lot of black folks all over the world who speak Spanish. The Spanish is their native tongue in a lot of these countries. And if you were to go to Cuba, you would see people from light all the way up to almost black. And it's that way in many places. And many of the people who are in this country are not American black folks.
Well, I speak a little Spanish. Vámonos.
No. But we want to welcome everybody. Wade, we need to hear from you, and maybe we need to have you do a full segment. Patrick said that Trump is testing us right now and seeing how much we are going to tolerate. And so far, we keep backing up,
Well,
and
look,
we're tolerating a whole lot of injustice.
look,
Phyllis Renee Theodore has joined us. Thank you for joining Ask Elaine.
look at this.
Senator.
Look at this Supreme Court. They're giving him veto over everything that's unconstitutional. When they were talking about Clarence Thomas and not putting him on that Supreme Court, and then the civil rights community said, "Well, all right, we're gonna let him go. You should have kept fighting not to get him there." He has served no purpose for our community. He looks like us, but if you're talking about an Oreo, then you can find one real quick.
Okay, we've got a caller. Caller, welcome to Ask Elaine.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. This is Carol Spain. One of my girlfriends, one of my girlfriends, man, stopped about 7 times in Columbus, Georgia, because they thought she was Mexican. And it's sad, it really is. And she's had to tell them, listen, y'all need to do something because I'm tired of this. I've had enough. Y'all gonna get somebody a heart attack. Keep pulling them over, thinking they Mexican. It don't make no sense. It gotta stop. Why are they doing this, people? That's my first question. My second question is, y'all gotta do something about this insurance. Car insurance is off the chain. It don't make no sense. They adding stuff to your policy. They adding children to your policy who ain't even old enough to drive. It don't make no sense.
They cannot do that. When you do an insurance policy, it talks about how many folks are in the household, or do you have any kids who are driving, and they have to be on that policy or they're not covered.
But the child is 14.
If he's 14, he's got to have a learner's permit. He's got to have a permit to drive. Then you add it. Well, if he don't have no permit, then he ain't got no business driving.
He ain't driving.
I tell you what. After the show, it looks like y'all need to get some more details together. Yes, and Carol, what else did you want to add? And y'all can talk about that insurance and maybe get the details, because I have some real concerns and they're cropping up. When you have a chronic disease and every day there's a treatment or whatever, and there are cases where there are some medicines that insurance companies have chosen not to cover. They will pay for a particular medicine, which is cheaper usually, rather than the one that the doctor prescribes.
It's one they got to deal with those labs of medical providers and stuff.
But see, under Obamacare, they were putting an end to that kind of thing. They couldn't deny you coverage for certain pre-existing things. There was coverage that was being extended to different kinds of medicine, insulin, and many people are diabetic and depend on insulin. I think the cost had gone to no more than $25, Herbert.
No, we cut it down to like $35.
And now, from what I understand from comments that I've read, it's going back up because the insurance companies know that they've got a friend in the White House who could care less about the average person. And so, Carol, did you have other comments you needed to make?
The only comment was about the next, you're pulling people over who you think that are foreigners, and it doesn't make any sense. How can you get something put on your tag or on whatever that they can stop, that they need to stop stopping you? This is happening to people who are light-skinned.
Well, Carol, the only way this is going to change is if you change the administration in Washington. And first of all, we do it by the next round of votings where we vote in Democrats who will advocate those positions. And I feel good because the trend with these races that are happening right about now, Democrats are winning because the average person is tired of this mess. They see the danger. There's no turning back. These Republicans could care less
But Epstein won't
about.
go away.
But Epstein's not going away. And that's what's getting to a lot of folks, where you have grown men who have their choice of 14-year-old girls, and people, even those people who have in the past supported Trump, are looking and saying, I have a 14-year-old daughter, and would I want my daughter brought into this criminal enterprise? And there were billions of dollars that changed hands in this whole thing. But anyway, the only way we can bring some resolution or a beginning is to change the Congress. And that means the upcoming elections, we have got to vote, and we've got to vote for people who have our best interests. These folks, look at RFK. RFK is removing all of the protections for children as far as vaccinations and all this sort of stuff. And so people are confused as to what vaccinations children ought to get, or whether they should get or not. And not only is it saving children, the vaccines, but it's saving other folks' children from your child that might have something. So it's a no-brainer, but this is who's in charge. And so our vote is counting more and more. And if you never voted before, if you've been dropped off, get back on, because you are the one that's going to save us from some tragedies. We had just about gotten rid of measles in children. Children were not dying from measles. But I think in Texas, there were like, how many, 63 cases of measles? And then think of all the other children that were affected by that, and the other folks, adults, who can succumb to some of these illnesses that were gone, were under check, under control. So Phyllis Theodore says that RFK is not a medical researcher nor doctor, and making decisions that are killing people, especially children. You are right. And she says, yes, we must vote and get these Republicans out. And she says, vote, vote, vote. And I second that emotion. Patrick says, where are our Black judicial candidates who could run for Superior Court judge? Each judge, including the one African American, is a Republican.
And there's something going on there, that if you go in the courtroom and you sit and you watch a white person, it's not many come up, and black person, sometimes they get different sentences.
They do for the same thing or less.
Right. So
a lesser crime.
So we need to get some blacks to run for judge.
Well, there are a lot of people who do it. Shirley Lester has joined us. There are a lot of people who do a lot of talking, but it's time for us to put in action. You don't have to be out there in the meetings or any of that. You can do your part. You can vote. You can get your church members to vote, to register and to vote. You can get your neighborhood. You can, when you go to these parties, the white party, the black parties, all of that, ought to have, I know folks want to have fun, but fun to me is seeing a bunch of folks registering to vote. Is that dull, y'all? That means something to our survival.
If you don't, you won't be able to have these parties.
Absolutely, because Trump's gonna ban all y'all black and brown folks from anything.
I don't think a lot of people realize the danger of how close we are becoming
I don't think they do.
Dictatorship. Republicans, not just average Republicans, used to have Rockefeller Republicans and Gerald Ford Republicans. Now you don't have Lindsay Republicans from New York City.
Right.
You don't have any of them anymore.
Right.
if you move a little to the left, you kind of kicked out of the Republican
That's
Party.
right. That's right.
You'll be challenging the primary. Republicans control the White House.
the
They control
Congress.
and the Supreme Court.
That's
And
right.
they control both houses,
Right.
the Senate side and the Congress side.
That's why
Congressional
we
side.
got to vote and regain control of the Congress. And once we do that, there can be some guardrails put up against Trump. But as long as they're in full control, we are at that cliff. We had another phone call caller. Welcome to Ask Elaine.
Hey, Mr. Luke, how you doing? This is Wayne Horton.
Doing fine, doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Okay, if
And
you could
I would,
speak up just a little bit, Wade.
okay. Oh, all right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Better.
Okay. Well, as far as with the transit authority, yeah, Craig Ross made an announcement that because of the American Disability Act, 3/4 mile radius of the route, that there were some people that live outside of the route that he's going to eliminate from paratransit because they live outside the route. He learned the 3/4 mile radius in my lawsuit that I had with them when they took my right of privilege out for a year. So what he's saying is that they're costing the transit authority more by doing this. And my thing and my cousin's thing is that since you're talking about eliminating people from this, using the 3/4 mile radius, you need to grandfather everybody who has been approved with the service, because you have to fill out an application, take it to your doctor, and then you have to bring it back for their approval.
Well, let me say this too.
Okay.
What we need to do is fill up that transit authority and make them do what's right. They ain't had no problem doing any other thing that they wanted to do.
Right.
And so what we need to do, that's the reason I'm telling you, we 63% of this community.
And we don't act like it. No.
And I want to thank those folks who didn't run and stayed. But we got to come together. We got to come together, y'all.
Speaking of coming together, on tomorrow evening at 6:00 at Union Baptist Church on Kitchens Street on the east side of town, there will be a town hall meeting. And I think the local president, Ms. Westbrooks, was going to call in. She may very well before the program is over. But they are having a town hall meeting. And if you're concerned about disrespect towards me or any of your other elected officials, if you are concerned about what's happening with health insurance, with food being taken out of our babies' mouths, with our education system being impacted negatively because of the Trump administration, you need to be there at that meeting. 6 p.m. at Union Baptist Church on Kitchen Street. And it's being hosted by the local NAACP. And we want to see you there. We plan to be there. I'm going to have on my mask, y'all. I promise you I will. And we want to see you there so we can send a message, especially to our local legislative delegation. Have you got an opinion on the request for a third term for Mayor Lester Miller? That can be brought to that town hall. If you've got a concern, and I'm real pleased, just recently there was an announcement of $30 million being set aside for expansion of the jail and some upgrades there. And that is wonderful. That's one of the things we've advocated on this. If you're still concerned and you want to see what's going on, you need to be at the town hall tomorrow. If you are concerned about federal attempts to keep you from voting, you need to be at the town hall tomorrow evening at 6. And don't be late. Be on time because they're going to start at 6 o'clock. And you will have an opportunity to get some answers, to see some of your legislative delegation, because I understand that they've been invited to be there to answer questions. And in many cases, it's these decisions are going to be in the legislators' hands. It's going to be the legislative delegation that makes the decision as to whether the mayor gets a third term, whether the county commissioners are continuing to be term limited. It's going to be left up to our legislators to determine whether there's a revamping of the water board, where you get more and better representation, and the money you spend there is done legally, that they're not stealing from you. There are a lot of different issues that you need to come and address and get information on. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 6 at Union Baptist Church, where the Reverend Dr. David Stanley is the most esteemed pastor and just an all-around good leader in this community. And we want to salute Ms. Gwen Westbrooks, who just, you're the reason that the water board got so mad with me down there, because she spoke truth to power last night, and they were burning up. After they spoke, Stanley Stewart, Aisha Ellen, there were a number of other people, Don Druitt, all of those folks spoke, and they let the water board know they didn't appreciate what they were doing. That's why they were so mad and didn't want to recognize me for a point. But they were wrong. They were wrong. And the folks who were speaking, addressing them, were absolutely right. So we've got to continue that kind of stuff. And every time there is a town hall meeting, we need to be there. We need to be there. So that's all I got to say. Wade, did you finish what you needed to say? Because what we're going to do, we're going to need to have you on for a longer segment so that we can get more of the information. But in the meantime, we need to plan to attend the next Macon Transit Authority meeting.
Okay.
And we'll put it in the chat when that next meeting is.
Okay. Yeah.
Wade?
Yes, ma'am. The other thing I want to say is, if they're feeling the need to kick so many people off, it's time to expand the transit authority. We consolidate the government. We got more people living in the Macon city limits, and it's my understanding that it's based off population. So why is someone trying to get more grant money from the federal government to expand?
Well, I think it's done because of you, Wade. That's what I think is happening. I think it's done being vindictive.
Yeah, Wade has been
Right.
an advocate for a long, long time. He and his cousin, and they don't want to do anything to improve transit. Yet they spend your money. The county allocates so much money to run the transit authority, and then based on that, they get state grants and federal grants. And so that, it's all your money, and you need to have a voice in how it's spent. And if the rules don't work for the people, it shouldn't be in there. The meeting room is not handicapped accessible. You have to turn sideways. I'm with my big hips. I have to turn sideways to go up the steps to get to the 4th floor.
But you got
ceiling.
But you got the right hips.
What'd you say, David?
She got the right hips.
Anyway, I shouldn't have to turn them to the side to get up the steps. And for somebody who's in a wheelchair, they have to have a special person to be there to open the freight elevator to let that person access that 4th floor meeting room. There are just so many things, y'all, that y'all could help with.
Yeah, they could meet out at the
They could meet downstairs in the,
downstairs, or they can go out there to that Westgate Mall, what used to
that's
be the mall for us, where they got
the Macon Mall.
the Macon Mall.
Yeah, yeah. There are a lot of meetings, but they do it. They meet there just to spite the folks
And that's
like
exactly
Wade, who is saying to them, this place needs to be accessible.
Let me ask you something, Mrs. Lucas. I want to change the subject back to you and how you feel.
Well, I get tired. Leukemia is one of those things where you have heavy doses of medicine,
How much
and
medicine?
it tends to. Each one of my treatments involves 3 shots, and I think I've got maybe 15 pills that I
Okay.
take each day, and so I have to be real careful and plan that out. And people have been so nice, and they've offered to do different things, and I'm just so pleased with them. But the prayers are what I need. And if you see me and you have a suggestion as to something health wise, I would be glad to know that. But I feel good right now, but a little later on I might be extremely tired. So
After you take the pills, you get tired.
sometimes there's no telling when it's going to happen. And so it's just, you have to be very careful, and you just take it day by day, but you have to stay on your treatment plan, and that's just it. But I would be so much better if I knew that there were more and more people who were taking this thing seriously. I'm going to fight whenever I'm feeling well. I'm going to fight. But as I've said before, I cannot do it by myself, and I don't presume that I'm the savior. But we've got to have some people out there fighting this battle too, because we are in danger, y'all.
Let me say something, and I want to say it to all you black ministers. It's time to show up.
Yeah.
If they see y'all coming down there, and they know y'all talk to over 4,000 or 5,000 folks on Sunday, and if you coming down there, you forget how powerful you can be.
Yeah.
Because when they look up and see you, they know something going on.
And they know you represent your membership. That's not just one minister, it's the congregation. Because most ministers with good sense, their membership listens to them. And so, yeah, you are absolutely right. And the ministers need to pack this thing out tomorrow, the town hall, and hear what their worshipers are saying, or they're concerned with the transit, water, the commission, all of that.
I wonder how much the NAACP contacted the ministers.
I don't know, but I know that there are a number of ministers here, and I know that everybody listening probably has a minister, and can contact them and have them to come.
I will definitely be there.
I will be there as well.
It's important that we come there to see what's going on and to learn something.
Right. Well, we've got another caller.
Yo, go ahead.
All right, caller, welcome to Ask Elaine.
This is Don Druitt calling in to.
Okay, Don, how are you?
Just fine.
You were one of the ones down there that made the water board folks so mad until they shut the meeting down on me. Go ahead, Don, and speak up just a little bit for me, please.
We're going to be down there on Thursday to talk about it some more, and we will be at the next commission meeting, Water Board Authority meeting, to talk about it even more. So we encourage you to stay strong and stay healthy, and we're there to support you.
Thank you. Don Druitt is a former emergency management guy with our county government, and they did him kind of dirty. But, there's always some of us who will be an advocate for people. But he was there at the water board, and he endorsed the senator's push toward changing the water authority, the makeup of it.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so we're glad to see people who are doing the talking, but they're doing the walking too, like you are. Patrick Davis says our vote is powerful. The Black Democratic vote is powerful. We could use the recall petition as a tool against 3 county commissioners, districts 5, 7, and 9. Flip the county commission and gain a progressive supermajority. And he's absolutely right. That is
Well,
an
I don't know
idea.
if he could do it, and because a lot of people run in districts, and a lot of their districts is almost all white.
No, they changed it.
It's different.
I mean,
Herbert.
The demographics, when you draw districts, there's a certain population that they look at, and then when you do it, those districts are either 1% to 3 to 4% off having the same numbers, like the county committee, the water authority, but it's 37,500. That's the average size. County commission district, who represent the entire county, are 17,000. So the water authority members represent 20,000 more folks than the county commissioners, and they represent the entire county.
I know. I was saying, if you have some people on the county commissioner that come from the North Macon area section of town, I don't think that. First of all, it's hard to get a petition, but it's a good try. But I don't know if we have that much impact on a county commissioner district.
Well, we don't need a petition. What we got to do is show up and vote. They look at the numbers.
They know the numbers.
And
they sit back
no
and
doubt
think.
about it. But I was just talking about if you
Herbert, there are more people in these districts of color, because a lot of them, when the census was taking place, we hid. We didn't fill out the census and stuff, so the numbers are not correct. And then we turn around and compound it by not voting. But what I'm saying is, and what Patrick is saying and others are saying, we have got to flex our muscle. We are powerful.
I believe that 1,000%, and I think we should do it on the Superior Court. I think we should do it on all the constitutional offices we have.
Enough of us. How many folks? How many black folks?
We could do it. But the first thing we could do, we're talking about recalling somebody. The first thing we need to not let them in office.
That's really denied.
Power. It's 100% correct. We have the power to vote somebody in and vote somebody out.
You remember,
but we got to show up to the polls to do it.
That's right. Patrick provides this information. District 7, Bill Howell's district, has become a majority minority district, and he's talking about not running again. So that's a pickup for a black person. That's a majority.
If we get out and vote.
Well, we're giving you the information. We're trying to encourage you to get involved, stay involved. Patrick also says that District 5, it says Seth Clark's district, and it is a majority black district. It always has been.
That was Bill Randall's district. That was Bert Bivens' district, and we lost that district to Seth.
But you had
2 years in a row
running around talking about they were going to run, and they ended up not running.
2 years in two terms in a row. We let somebody that should not be the representative over there.
Let me tell you this: what we got to do is be informed. One of the things that happened.
We got to speed it up now because we only have 2 minutes.
Bert Bivens led everybody on to believe that he was going to run for re-election, and he had already moved out of his district and then run. And the other guy got in and got folks supporting him and everything else. That's how he got elected. But let's talk about
Patrick says we can't wait until 2028. We got elections coming up
right now.
End of this year, October, November.
Yeah.
we've got election, and a lot of folks are bug-eyed because they're saying, I didn't know there were elections coming up. We're going to tell you about all of that next week. And then next year with midterms, we've got a whole lot. I'm running for re-election next year. The chair of the water board, the one who adjourned the meeting and walked out and everything, said I had to tell him what I wanted to talk about on the point of personal privilege. He's running next year. And then there's Mr. Patterson, whose district has become, I believe, majority Black. And in those situations, we need to, as a community, target those areas and make sure that we have qualified candidates who will run, who will study, who will know what to do. And we've all got to be there to vote for them. But if you're not registered, you can't do a thing to help a candidate.
Well, one
It's
thing
4 o'clock too. Gosh, we run out of time.
I want to say this, sir. When you were serving on the water board, you served with Frank Amerson.
Yes.
Frank Amerson never would have taken the deal that the city gave the water authority.
No.
Period. Unless some money came with it. Now, the reason that the plan I did that leaves one of the appointees by the county is that the county is the only one that can call for the supply. It's the only one that can call for the supply. And some of that money needs to go to the water authority to help us get
That's right.
all of these bad pipes. We are older cities and we got infrastructure problems. And it takes money to fix it. Now, I don't know whether the ratepayers can come up with enough money to pay on the rate to fix the problem.
Okay. Oh goodness. Hey y'all, this is something else. We do appreciate you being here. Again,